Hi, I'm love and dating expert Hayley Quinn, and here I am today to resolve probably one of the biggest arguments that men and women have in relationships together, and that is your girlfriend comes home and she says, I'm fine. And you know she is not fine. So what do you do, right? How do you go about this? Because this is kind of a minefield. And I understand why she's expressing things that way, but often to a guy this is like, whoa, confusing, how do I handle it? Now, there's a few routes that you might be tempted to take that actually probably aren't that smart. So I'm going to tell you the routes not to take, and then I'm going to tell you the right route to take with stuff. Okay, so route not to take, number one, is go, oh, well, she said she's fine, so she probably is feeling a bit bad, and I'm going to leave her in her own space to resolve her own issues, because that's what I'd like to do. Now, not to be too gender stereotypical about all of this, but that I'm kind of a believer in the man cave, where sometimes men like to sort things out and resolve stuff in their own space and time. Women, on the other hand, tend to like to talk through their problems and have social contact or physical contact. So whilst you might think by leaving her alone that you're actually giving her what she needs, you're probably giving her what you would like and need in that situation, rather than communicating and addressing things with her. So there's a little rule there, which is to give a person what they need and not what you think they need. And you're like, secondly, the other path to go down is you might think, she's just being moody, I'm not tolerating that, I'm going to be moody back to her. To what point I think, what does that do for anyone? It doesn't help anyone, does it? You need at least a relationship. If you've got one person being grumpy or a bit off, or they're feeling hurt, or something's going on with them, if you then participate and buy into that emotion, everyone's upset in the end. And like, that's not a good result. Instead, and you know, in a good relationship, each partner, sometimes the girl has a bad day, sometimes the guy has a bad day, or whether it's two girls or two guys or whatever your relationship setup is, people are allowed to have bad days or feel vulnerable about stuff or need some support and help. As long as it's going both ways, the other person, recognizing the other person's needs, should keep calm and then do their best, instead of getting dragged into grumpy, angry state, to pop the other person back into normal, calm, relaxed mode. Now, the best way I find to do this is to, in a non-judgmental way, offer your help and support whilst acknowledging what's really going on. Because let's face it, when in the history of the world has anyone said, I'm fine? And you hear it in their voice that they're not fine and they're actually fine. It's like, listen to the emotional content of the words more than the words themselves. She could be saying, I'm fine on paper, but if she seems agitated and you're getting a sense in your intuition, in your gut, that something is up with her, address the emotional content first. Now, you don't have to say, oh, baby, my darling, what have I done? Da, 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 da. Here's what I'd advise you say. Keep it calm, keep it practical. You could say, hey, I know that you're expressing you're fine, but something's telling me, or something about your tone, I'm perceiving you seem upset. Now, I want to help and support you if I can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit here for a couple of minutes. If you want to talk about it, I would really like to listen to you. And you know what we should do first? Let's have a hug. Now that is killer. It's all killer, no filler. And the reason for that is it's not judgmental. It's not forcing your opinion on her. It's not forcing her to speak to you, but it gives her a clear opportunity to engage with you if that's what she wants. It also shows that you have a willingness to communicate with her and support her, so that later on, rather than if you just leave her to her own devices, she won't be able to think, you know, that won't be able to add to her emotional state where she doesn't feel supported. She's going to get what she needs from you. Plus, physical contact. Who doesn't like a hug? A hug is really good to release that oxytocin and rebond you. So if you've had a bit of an argument, hug it out. It will psychologically and physiologically bring you back together. And remember, being in a relationship is about being an amazing communicator, having respect for one another, actually showing that you're supportive of each other and being available to one another. And that's not to say, by the way, that the woman should say, I'm fine all the time. Of course, there's a little job that she has to do there about being better at expressing her feelings. But right now, if you're in a relationship, you guys are in this together. So work hard to get the result you want and to communicate clearly. Now, if you're a guy and you found this advice helpful, please head over to hayleyquinn.com/hermind. All of my teaching is based around being empathetic and understanding women better and becoming an awesome communicator. And if you do this, your life will just be so blissful with women afterwards. So if you want blissful life with women, head to hayleyquinn.com /hermind, which is HAYLEYQUINN.com/HERMIND. Link will be in the bio below, and I'll be back again soon with another dating and relationship advice video.